If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm not the kind of person who really enjoys working with other people. I tend to like to do things on my own, and I've always kind of been that way. In high school, I used to ask my teachers if I could do group projects by myself, and they always let me, so I've never really had to work that hard with anybody else. And even in the times where I've had to work in groups, like absolutely had to, I usually just undertake everything myself. Because I'm a perfectionist, I have my own personal taste, the things I like. And sometimes, honestly, I'm smart enough to take the easy way out. I choose to cover things that I know I can cover easily, that I have a good grip on in my head. And that's not the case for everything. But especially for something that forced me, like this class has forced me, to do what is uncomfortable already for myself. To work with other people and give up a sense of control. It was just easier for me to choose to do things that I understood well, to not necessarily challenge myself as much as maybe I should have, or as much as I challenge myself in other things, like in writing. You can see that in my audio documentary. I mean, the subject itself, it's something that I'm interested in, sure, but I knew how to formulate it. I knew how to organize it so that I would get something successful out of it. And maybe it wasn't something that my heart was 100% into. I don't know. Even in the YouTube personality project, I ended up working mostly by myself, even in a group. And I liked it that way. I like having creative control. I like my contribution being my own. I've always found group efforts to be sort of asinine, and maybe that's just me being immature, or me being self-centered. In reality, we have to work together in all kinds of projects. And maybe that's something that I need to work on myself. Understanding that other people's points of view, just because they're not mine, doesn't make them any less valuable. And maybe that's something that I already understand, but in the context of like an academic setting, it's harder for me to give up. Because honestly, I don't trust other people to do right by me in school. I've always been a person who generally gets good grades, and maybe this semester that's been a little altered because my attention has been divided. But I don't know. I have my own personal taste. In making the YouTube videos, I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to organize it how I wanted to, and I think it was successful. I don't think it was fruitless. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe because I've had mostly success, I haven't actually failed, per se, at something that I put at least half of my effort into. I don't know, I guess it's just something to think about. And maybe this isn't a standard artist statement, but I'm feeling kind of introspective right now, so I guess I'm just gonna go with it. In terms of how I develop my ideas, maybe not even just in the context of this course, but just in general, I tend to just get things stuck in my head, and I just mull over them constantly. I guess for my audio documentary, I just happened to see things around that just got I don't know, stuck in my craw. I just needed to think about them and sort of figure them out in my own head. I think a lot of the threads in my work in most classes, and maybe it's because I'm a gender studies minor, and maybe it's because I write poetry that's concerned with this sort of thing, but a lot of my work has feminist underpinnings in them, I suppose, and especially you can see that, I think, in my concerns with political correctness, because the two are so often associated with one another. They're practically indiscernible, at least in popular culture. In my mind, it's a bit more of a gray area, but I don't know. I can get obsessive, I think, about certain things, and then I beat them to death, looking at things from every side. I think in general, the way I approach things isn't necessarily the wrong way to approach things, but it's still not entirely right, and I think that it's something that maybe needs more fine-tuning. I don't know. Maybe I need to be more open-minded or more cooperative. But who's to say? I certainly don't know.